This is of course the issue with sugar beet, potato and sugar cane harvesting is you're filling up these things so quickly. Okay. But that's where the bonus income comes in. They pay better per acre to compensate for the fact that you're tending the equipment so much more. At the very least, for sugar beet harvesting, this is good entry level kit, and you don't need $500,000 to get into doing. Oops, yeah. Turn it on. Turn it on. Let's keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, now we did get a cattle friend contact us yesterday. He's taking his steers in to the butcher's today, so we're getting 1/4 of a cow, which will be good. Why isn't it? Because it's full. Having just got delivery of a new freezer, I think last month it came, in spite of the fact we ordered it in February. And we were under the illusion at that point that, well, they'll be in by March. And sort of, yeah, 6 months later they were here, so, or 5 months later they were here. But we now have actually got somewhere to put 1/4 of a cow and still have room for all the other stuff we stick in the freezer. And if you have a friendly neighborhood farmer who does that, it's a good way to get beef a lot cheaper than you get from the grocery store. So, just an observation, assuming you eat beef. We have another farmer friend who does pigs, although we haven't availed ourselves of his services yet. He did point out he does cows and pigs, but he said we might be interested in some pigs, or a pig, or half a pig, 1/4 of a pig, something like that. But he does those towards the end of fall, so it's probably a few months off before he's offering any. We'll also have to see how much of the cow we've eaten by then, because we only have the one overflow freezer. Okay. yeah, as far as FS22 announcements are concerned, I am a little less apprehensive on how they're doing seasons. I mean, obviously when they said, yeah, we're doing seasons and we're taking zero input from the guys who've done seasons for the last two versions of the game, it's sort of, I kind of like how they do it. How badly, you know, how much of a difference is it going to be? I don't necessarily mind difference, but what I wouldn't like is something we've had. You know, seasons is quite comprehensive on 17 and 19. There's a lot in it, and to give us something that sort of, well, the trees change colour, there's snow in the winter, and that's it, and we'll call that seasons. That would be a little upsetting, I think. Yeah, it would. Yeah, Seasons Light is not something I would be singing and dancing from the trees about. But I think they've retained most of the seasons concepts, at least as far as the crops are concerned. That I'm kind of okay. I'm less apprehensive about what they're doing, and it should make the game fairly enjoyable. Obviously, it's a Switch, so you can turn seasons on and off depending on how you want to play. Much like you can turn weeds on and off and ploughing on and off and stuff like that. That I felt was a good, that I felt was at the minimum something they needed to do, because you can't just add it to the game and then say play like that, because it would alienate a lot of people who don't particularly want to play with seasons. But to give us something like Seasons Light, which doesn't include a significant amount of what we already play with, and then not give us the ability to have a mod that does expand it, that would be sort of less than ideal, should we say. I'll try and cut this a little squarer. So if I go back to using the worker, it'll be a little happier with how everything works, or how the field looks, the rest of the field. But I really want to see now how the animals work. Are we going to have? Are we going to be left with animals that breed once every 3 hours or 6 hours, depending how many you have, or are we actually going to have, like we have in seasons, animals breed quite quickly, but only during certain times of the year? Didn't lower. Might need to get myself a new side panel. Buttons on this one are getting a little bit temperamental. Okay. Oh, I missed one. I really don't know if it's what I'm using this tractor for, or whether it really does have that small of a fuel tank. It does seem to be getting empty a little bit quickly. again. Okay. So that's with this one full again. And looking at what we've got left to do, I'm pretty sure that's not going to exceed the capacity of the big truck. Turn that on, lower that, fold that. I said lower that. There we go. But yeah, the next big harvest is going to be first time potatoes for me using the new DLC equipment. So that's also going to be a learning experience, although yeah, I've seen how it's supposed to work in real life. We'll figure out how it works in farm sim life as we go. And I believe the way it works, we will be able to leverage a few more workers more conveniently on it. Though I think the collection is still going to be very manual regardless, because you're picking potatoes up from the ground, so it's not something a worker can do. Although, that said, follow me is probably going to be a thing that we can use it with. Wow, is it? Yeah, we'll see how it works. It'll probably be intensely laborious, at least the first time we do it, until I see opportunities for where can I do, where can I leverage a worker to do bits of it. Also, apparently Giants did do a discussion on their new American map, because the reason they've avoided doing a typical American Midwest map is it's sort of, well, we don't see what the excitement is in a 2 kilometer by 2 kilometer flat square of fields. And yeah, I could understand that, but the Midwest isn't, you know, mirror pond flat. It's it undulates, and yeah, so it sounds like and looks like they've actually done a fairly good job on the map. And you know, it looks and feels American, which is what places like Ravenport really doesn't feel. Yeah, it's supposedly modelled on California, and quite frankly, it's sort of nowhere in California I've been. But And they really have gone for sort of the open plains rather than... I mean, they could have done Pennsylvania, which has, you know, good-sized fields and what have you, or Ohio. But there's still interesting topographical features over the land. And, you know, you have ponds and rivers and drainage ditches which sort of the fields have to contour around. I'm going to mess this up now though. Can we go? Can we not go? And for some reason my tractor's stuck. Okay, let's do that. Lower the harvester, turn on the harvester, and go with the tractor. Yes, and we are pulling sugar beets off the ground again. That's so awesome. I suppose I can put the pipe down too. Not that it's really a pipe on this. I don't know. Still have. We don't have far to go, but with sugar beets that's kind of deceptive because volume wise it's lots and lots. Oh, missed a strip. Probably discover I'm missing another bit. Nope, I'm good. Okay. And again, the button didn't work. Not sure if you can hear the clicks, but definitely trying to get it to go down and harvest, but down. I guess real world time we will get this done before the end of today. We're making good progress. And, this wedge at the end is almost nothing. Lower, come on. Yeah, don't mind the telephone pole. Those changes of texture over in that corner are where I didn't cultivate the ground when I was going around the corner. Oh yeah, that's the other graphical improvement. It's going to be kind of interesting. they're not necessarily going to be removing stubble and chopped straw from a field when you cultivate it. So, you know, the textures are going to be kind of additive. So there'll either be more graphical prompts for us to get used to, or we're going to be referring to the field state. Yeah, here. That looks like stubble. So I'm guessing what happened here was, as I was coming around with the cultivator, I just missed those bits between rows. Stuck. Of course, glitches like that also won't be something we should be bothered with when sort of drive, reverse, neutral are incorporated into Farm Sim 22. I don't know what causes that. It happens sometimes on some vehicles when hauling some equipment. But it seems the only way to get around it is to detach the equipment you've got and reattach it. That seems to reset the driving, or the vehicle enhancement, driving enhancement mod. Okay, that is done. We can do that. We can turn that on. We can lift that up. We can try not to hit the truck and its trailer. So really not, that's almost a full load there. Probably lead back to the farm with the case, just because it's the slowest of the three vehicles. Okay, what's going in this field next? I don't know. Oh, it doesn't matter. We have to plough anyway. I forgot that. Needs ploughing, yeah. After root crops and corn and stuff, you need to plough. Oh, now having watched, who was it this week? I think one of Daggerwin's playthroughs this week. I might want to consider planting maize. And I don't need a particularly big field for it, but one of the food options here: fresh grass, grass clover, fresh maize, and hay pellets. Now, hay pellets, that's £500,000 for the pelletizer thing, which is it's the same excuse as I'm not buying a sugar beet harvester, or I'm not buying a self-propelled potato harvester, because that's $500,000 that I don't really need to worry about. We got the clover silage covered. We got clover hay covered. I'm having issues with the sheep accepting clover, but fresh maize is just what is it? It's corn that has been collected as forage. So it's foraged corn, and I don't have to, I don't have to stick it in a silo or anything to make it into the corn or maize silage. I just have to collect the maize and store it. So that might be something we do next year, especially if just basic clover does not work. And basic clover should work, but we've been having issues with it. So right now I'm kind of looking at it and saying I might need an alternative. Now it could be that come winter, when the sheep troughs stop accepting grass that's growing in the fields, that I can actually figure out a way to make the clover work. We have both loose and baled clover, but I haven't had any success in getting it loaded into the food troughs. So next year, maybe the field that we've currently got potatoes in, it's a small field, I could plant maize in that field and silage it and see if that works. And the thing is, we don't need a lot of it. We're purely keeping it to we're keeping it to replace fresh grass during the winter, and that's the only reason we'd want it. Okay, let's do that. So, sugar beet harvester we are definitely done with. So yay. This just needs a good wash. So yeah, we could take one of the big tractors up to that field and let it loose with a plough tomorrow, because it does need to be ploughed. Put that in there. Or well, the other option is I could slurry the 3 fields that we've already done today, the 2 sunflower seeds and the sugar beet field. I could do a slurry run over the next couple of days, and then plough it, because it might be easier with the texture. Oh, I didn't put the topper away because I want to see if that works on the potatoes. So pull that up away for now, we'll leave that there, and we'll bring the 2 carts